So as you might know, Mr. Wojtowicz, I think is the pronunciation, he was arraigned today on 4 charges: involuntary manslaughter involving the death of Kaitlyn Leonard. That's Chapter 265, Section 13 of Massachusetts General Laws. The potential penalties on that is up to 2.5 years of the House of Correction and up to 20 years in state prison. The defendant was also indicted and arraigned today on distribution of fentanyl, which is a Class B substance. That's Chapter 94C, Section 32A, subsection A. It's a penalty of up to 2.5 years in the House of Correction, up to 10 years in state prison. Third count is possession of fentanyl with the intent to distribute, 94C, 32A, subsection A. Also a penalty of up to 2.5 years in the House of Correction, up to 10 years in state prison. The fourth and final count is possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute, Chapter 94C, Section 32A, 9, subsection C. Penalty is 1 year to 2.5 years to the House of Correction, or 2.5 years to 10 years in state prison. With respect to the facts, the date of Ms. Leonard's death is March 20th, 2015. After her discovery, the Ludlow Police and Massachusetts State Police began their investigation after she was found unresponsive by her boyfriend. Ms. Leonard was found at her home, and in the area of her body was drug paraphernalia, empty narcotic packaging, and specifically marked or stamped chocolate. 8 additional bags of unused fentanyl was marked, also marked chocolate, was recovered in the victim's possessions. Through the use of the victim's cell phone and the hard work of the Ludlow Police Department and the Massachusetts State Police, the investigation led them to make contact with Mr. Wojtowicz. Arrangements were made surreptitiously to purchase additional narcotics. Mr. Wojtowicz responded to the home, and the cell phone that was used to contact him was discovered and found in his car. Additionally, when Mr. Wojtowicz was arrested at the victim's address after his being placed into custody, additional bags of narcotics, similarly marked chocolate, were found on him, as well as an amount of cocaine. Toxicology was done. It was determined that the victim had lethal levels of fentanyl in her system, consistent with the unused narcotics that were found both at her home and in the possession of the defendant. Over the course of the year, the investigation was put together. Negotiations were had after his arraignment on drug charges, and we then proceeded with indictment proceedings on the manslaughter once the investigation was concluded for all intents and purposes. And a grand jury returned an indictment several weeks ago, and the arraignment, of course, was today. I want to make clear with this arrest and investigation that I, as district attorney, along with our law enforcement partners, are aggressively pursuing all angles related to this addiction epidemic. And we are going to prosecute, investigate, arrest to the fullest extent of the law all of those people who profit from addiction by selling substances like heroin and fentanyl that are making their way onto the streets of our communities, into our neighborhoods, and into the hands of addicts, which in some cases, like here, tragically, they're causing overdoses and deaths. This has reached a point at which law enforcement and I realize our obligation, and that obligation is going to be carried through in this case in honor of Ms. Leonard and to protect the laws here and the safety of people in Hampden County. And along with members of the Ludlow Police Department, the State Police, and all our law enforcement partners, we will continue to vigorously investigate, arrest, and prosecute those people who profit from addiction. And this will be a piece of our improving the situation here in Hampden County and getting out of this malaise of addiction that we're facing now.